This is our fourth ever win in the NCAA tournament. And I told our players after the game that doesn't matter how, it just matters, did you win? And I haven't told them this yet, but I'm so excited that we are playing on Saturday that we're going to check into whitewater rafting on the Spokane River tomorrow. So we're going to see if we can have all kinds of experiences here. We're thrilled that we won that game. And I can talk about all the things that we didn't do. But one thing we did is have more points at the end. And that's what matters now. I thought we were resilient coming out of the regulation when they hit the 3 to put it in overtime. And we talked about it. Who are we? Who do we want to be? Are we going to put our head between our tail and say what happened and go home? Are we going to bow our back and deliver the first punch? And we found a way to win. And the 3 who are up here were immensely responsible for what happened for the success of our team tonight. So we're playing on Saturday. Very proud of that fact.
Coach, I think this is the first time all season you did not post double. Can you take us through what the thinking was? Did you want it first? Did you not? And how do you think it worked out?
And I know you guys have things to do when you leave here, but you're probably already past your deadline for tomorrow's paper, so I'm going to do something I never do. I'm going to complain about the NCAA process, and I hope somebody writes it. We were told that we would go home tomorrow if we lost. That was what we requested. We don't want to go home tonight. It's 10 minutes after 11. By the time you get back to the hotel, did they want us to tell our kids, pack your bags, and if we win, we'll go back? It's 10 after 11. But the time, and New Mexico State has to do this. They didn't want to go home either. But they have to go home tonight. It's disgraceful. For the billions of dollars that we have here, for them not to find a way to accommodate these kids, the student athletes. You can't tell me they couldn't find charter planes. And that's what they told me. I shouldn't have to call the NCAA, and I did today, to say why. And then I said, we have made 2 charter trips on small charter planes, 14, 15 passengers. How many of those did you contact? It's disgraceful. So we can say we want to do all these things for the benefit of the student athletes, but you play a game like we did tonight and you get to the airport at 1 in the morning, come on. Come on. I'd like to have every go from the top up administratively, have them at a site and say, you're going to ride home with that losing team. You're going to ride home with a losing team and see what it's like to get home at 5 in the morning. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. I got all the rhetoric. We tried, money's not the issue, we tried, there's no, you can't, I said, well, and I don't do this, and I never do this. I never do this. This is not me. I am not a guy that looks for things to complain about. But this is not right. This should not happen. This should not happen. This should not happen. I would hope you would write it. I would hope you would have investigated it and say, why did it happen? It can't happen, but it happened. Marvin Menzies and his team, they're going home tonight. They didn't want to go home tonight. Is that right? Is that fair? Come on. And we didn't post double, Mark, because of the fact that I watched him in a post double, and the Boular is so big, and he passes that ball so well out of it. I wish in hindsight that we would have on Chile, I wish that we, after a while, we would have said, okay, we're going to go on the bounce on him or done something a little different, because he was more aggressive. He got inside and created some problems for us. But we initially thought they really are good. They catch it and look, and they make it, if you double them, and they're good getting out of it. And that was our worry. And we thought we would give number 5, Arianis, an open three, and he's going to make those. So that's why. But and again, going back, I think if I could do it, if I did it again, I would have, at one stretch, I would have said, okay, let's try the double on the bounce and see what that looks like. So I didn't do a good enough job tonight either with, I got caught up and I was going to get Skyler out, and then I turned around and he picked up his third foul. I should have gotten him out before he got that third foul in the first half. So there's a lot of things that if I could do over again, I would.
Steve, this is the first time there's been 4 OT games in one day in the tournament, and you've seen a lot of tournament games. Is it surprising it's taken this long for that to happen? And I guess what does that say about the quality of the teams that are playing or matching up now?
If you just had us come and play, and you would say, how close are these two teams to be pretty equal? A lot of these games, we're 4th seed, and Marvin was the 13. I mean, the talent is pretty good everywhere. And then you get a little roll going, and the crowd, the neutrals all cheer for the team from behind, and all of a sudden they're playing a semi-home game. So we're pleased that we were able to get into overtime and win. We didn't want to get into overtime, but we're pleased once we got there that we found a way to get a win.
Steve, did you feel the need at all to point out to your team, or were you compelled in any way to point out about the results from earlier in the day, or you felt that they knew how good this team was going in anyway?
We really didn't talk a lot about it, Kevin. We said, when you get to this stage of the season, don't worry about anything other than competing as hard as you can, and don't say that because I'm in a white jersey, I'm the better team. You got to come out and play harder than your opposition and try to play smarter. I just, too many good teams. The three-point shot and those kinds of things can get you back in the game quickly, and we've all seen. I mean, it looked like we had an insurmountable lead a couple of times. The next thing you know, a 13-point lead is a 4-point lead. A 10-point lead is a tie game. And it happens. And sometimes you say, how can it happen? Just look at all these games, and you'll see it happening in all of them.
Coach, did you consider with 15 seconds left in regulation fouling? Or I know your kind of threshold, I think, is 10 seconds. And could you take us through the timeout when you decided to foul in overtime, up 3?
Yes, we talked about fouling under 8 seconds. And obviously we didn't do it, and I don't know what was it was under 8 seconds when they made the 3, I know. But I think, and again, it's a blur a little bit, they missed the shot, right? Missed the shot a little above 8 seconds, kicked it out, and before we could get to him, he was open, and he made a long 3 to put it in overtime. But we talked to them before. We're gonna, if it gets under 8 seconds, it's a little dicey when you're bringing it up and there's 17 seconds, and we should have gotten the rebound, and we didn't. To their credit, they fought and got it and found the open guy who made a very big, important shot at the time.
I just want to make sure, Steve, it's late. You're joking about tomorrow.
I'm sorry?
You're joking about tomorrow.
Yes.
But your joke was, I mean, that couldn't possibly be more exciting than or more exhausting than what happened tonight. That was your point there?
I don't know what my point was. That was probably a stupid thing to say. If we tried that, we'd lose about 3 or 4 of them. Probably a couple of coaches that they had to go too. I saw those those falls, and I said, look at this. I told all our team, we stopped the bus and looked at it coming over to practice. Big time impressive.
What do you know about North Dakota State, and can we get a comment from you on playing the Bison on Saturday?
I know when they came in that tunnel, as I was finishing up talking to the team, you could hear them from the court to their locker room. They were as excited as a team could be, and they should have been. And I've watched half of a game on them, but we've got 2 coaches that have watched 3 or 4 games. That's my job description tonight. Go back and they'll tell me which tape they want me to watch, and without telling you that I don't know anything about them, I'll know a whole lot about them tomorrow morning when the kids get up and have breakfast and we meet. I know they're a very good, very well coached basketball team that competed like crazy tonight and won a tremendous game for themselves and their program and their school.
Coach, your players have talked in the last week about what happened last year against Florida Gulf Coast and the Cinderella and want another shot at it. And here they're going to get it. I mean, North Dakota State, I think, by the way they won today, is becoming a little bit of that Cinderella. Do you think they're really embracing that chance and maybe they'll have learned something from last year?
I would hope that, obviously we'll remember what happened last year and it'll be written. Florida Gulf Coast got on a run last year where they were as good as just about anybody in the country. They played phenomenal, and they were a 15 seed. We're playing a 12 seed tomorrow. We played a 13 seed tonight and hung on to win. Had we played Oklahoma, we would have known we're going to have to play really good basketball to be in Anaheim. And we're going to have to do that against this team. I don't think they care that they're a 12 seed and that we're a 4 seed. They are going to come out guns a-blazing, and we need to make sure that we do the same thing. Without knowing anything about them, I know they'll play hard, and I know we'll play hard. So it should be a really, really, really good basketball game on Saturday afternoon.